Hey, Summerhill Cinema 700 here, taking a look today at the 1980 film Alien Contamination. We're going to be talking about the movie, as well as the Blu-ray here from Arrow Video. So I had never seen this movie before, but I had kind of had it on my want to watch list for some time, but just never got around to doing it. So basically, this is an Italian film. A lot of people have said that it's like an Italian ripoff of Alien. But after watching this, I can say it's not that much of a ripoff of Alien. There's certain things in this film that you can tell were definitely influenced from Alien, but the film itself is kind of unique. But we'll start out with basically what this movie is about. Basically, at the beginning of this film, we get a very nice shot of New York City, early '80s New York City, which I always love in films. We see the Chrysler Building, we see the World Trade Center. Just really some really nice shots of New York, and basically we see this ship coming into the harbor, and it ends up that the ship is empty. There's these Coast Guard and stuff flying around the ship, but they're not seeing anybody on board. So they basically go and inspect this ship, and they find these people on board, horribly mutilated, intestines like spilled out of their guts, really like super gory and graphic and nasty. Not a movie to want to watch while you're eating, but they discover these people. And on board they also discover this strange egg. And it ends up exploding, and there's like these guys with like these contamination hazard outfits on, and they're searching the vessel. And obviously, like I said, they found these bodies, and it ends up one of these eggs that they find explodes, and basically this like greenish slime goes all over them, and causes them to explode themselves. Basically, they start puking up their like organs, and their stomachs explode. Just lovely stuff, and but it's crazy. It's really graphic, and basically what it ends up is that these eggs, they're from Mars. I can't remember everything exactly, but these eggs came down from Mars. Why they're here, I can't remember exactly how that's explained, but this movie stars Ian McCulloch, who was in Zombies Flesh Eaters, the Lucio Fulci film, and also Zombie Holocaust. But I'll just explain what it says here on the back. It'll maybe make a little bit more sense. Basically, a cargo ship drifts into New York Harbor. Its crew all dead, their bodies horribly mutilated, turned inside out by an unknown force. Its freight boxes upon boxes of glowing, pulsating green eggs. It soon becomes clear that these eggs are not of this planet, and someone intends to cultivate them here on Earth. But who, and to what end? So basically, we end up getting introduced to Ian McCulloch's character, as well as this female character. I can't remember her name in the film, and then another guy. And they're basically like one of them is a scientist. Ian's character was an astronaut. He was at Mars at some point, and apparently he saw these eggs on Mars. And so this lady goes and visits him, and she's like, you're our only hope. You've seen these things firsthand on Mars, so we need your help. And they end up like flying to South America, and it ends up there's like this crazy psycho guy with his wife, and they have this big project that they're doing where they've got these eggs somehow. And they just want to basically take over the world. They want to send these eggs everywhere, and basically these eggs end up exploding. And as you know, your stomachs, you explode from the inside out. But really cool special effects in this film. When they go to South America, they end up staying in this hotel. The group of them, Ian McCulloch, the other fellow, and then the female, the woman character, they end up staying in this hotel. And while they're staying at the hotel, this crazy guy who's messing around with these eggs sneaks in. Presumably it's him. We don't actually see who it is, but somebody sneaks in to her room that she's staying in while she's taking a shower, and basically puts one of the eggs in there. And they're like these green eggs. They look like this, and they're pulsating. And it's sitting in her room, and it's like bop bop. It's beating, and she's like freaking out. And he locks her in there in the bathroom with the egg, so she can't get out. So she's trying to freak out, and it's a pretty tense moment because like at any moment this egg could explode, and once that goop gets on you, you're pretty much screwed. You are screwed, and it's just that's quite a bit of tension in that scene. And she's trying to get out. She's banging on the door, and the other guys end up coming out because they're going to meet her for dinner, and Finally, one of them hears her screaming like "Help me!" and he breaks and he gets her out. Thankfully, before the egg explodes. So these crazy people basically have a plan to wipe these guys out because they know that they're trying to stop their evil plan. I found that scene actually, dragged on a little bit too long. She was like in the bathroom. It was like a 15-minute scene or something. Maybe not quite, but like 10 or 15 minutes. It dragged on a little bit long. But I'm kind of going all over the place with this film. But basically, what it is yeah, these people are trying to stop these other people. The first group of people are normal. The others are crazy, and they're basically trying to take over the world with these alien eggs that they have from Mars. First, they were on the cargo ship, like I mentioned. They were shipping them over to New York. But their major plan is to have these sent around the entire world and basically kill off everyone in that horrible fashion. It ends up there's like this big battle towards the end. They get into this factory where they're making coffee, but that's just the disguise. They're actually have these eggs in the labs, and then around the end we find this because the guy who's working at the factory, I'm sorry if I'm making this confusing, I'm kind of all over the place at this review, but one of this crazy guy who's running this big factory with the alien eggs, he captures them, the girl, and he's like, time to send you to the Cyclops, or no, I think, no, sorry, it's not Ian McCulloch's character, but the other fellow in the movie, I can't remember his name. He's the first one, and he gets fed to this Cyclops we hear, and it ends up it's like this big frickin' alien Cyclops guy, and it just like sits there, and it's actually I watched this special feature, and they said that it was a puppet, like a full size puppet, but it's just like so. Other than the eggs, that's the only alien we actually see, but it's really cool, and it has like this gross mouth thing, and it like sucks the person in and just like digests them basically, and that part of the movie was really cool. So at the end, basically, the crazy guy sending these people to walk towards it because it has this big eye and it kind of hypnotizes them, and when you walk towards it, you just kind of like you stare into its eyes. It's kind of like the deadlights in It, and you get like hypnotized. And there's like flashbacks to Ian McCulloch's character, who when he was on his Mars mission, he actually was in a cave, and his partner who he was with, who actually ends up being, it's the crazy guy, was his partner who he was with in Mars. He got hypnotized by by the alien. I believe that's what it was. I kind of can't remember, but I believe that was his partner, and so he ends up being the crazy guy. And but it's really neat the way that they did the effects of that scene with the giant alien and stuff. So, and again, I apologize. I was kind of all over the place with this review, but I think you get the basic rundown. If you're into the Alien franchise, then you probably want to check this one out, just in the sense that it has certain aspects that you can see that came from Alien movies, like the way that these eggs explode. You kind of get that sense. It's like from the face huggers, and then also when they're burning the eggs with the flamethrowers, it reminds you of. Well, no, actually, I guess that the flamethrowers thing I don't think happened till Aliens, which came out like 6 years after this movie. So I guess they didn't actually. This movie used the flamethrowers first, then I guess, but I think that was Aliens, wasn't it? Yeah, but no, if you're in, it's definitely an Italian film, though. You can definitely you get that the score of this is very cool, but it's definitely that Italian feel. So I shouldn't say if you're a fan of Alien, go watch this movie. But if you're a fan of Italian horror movies and you want something a little bit different, you want to see what an Italian horror sci-fi is like, then give this a watch. But it definitely is unique. You could almost say that it is like an Italian Alien version of Alien, just because these Italian movies have that such unique soundtrack to them that you'd only know if you've watched Italian films before, but you have to check them out. Kind of just like that. I can't even explain it. It's just weird, like do 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 do. And there's weird. You know what I'm talking about if you've watched Italian films before, but this is basically the Italians taking their part in the sci-fi horror genre. So it's definitely an interesting film. I think it's one of those movies that I will enjoy more the next time I watch it, because sometimes the first time you watch a movie you don't notice everything in it. But for what it's worth, it's definitely an entertaining movie, and the gore effects in it are absolutely great. They're super disgusting. They're almost hard to watch them, and it's just like, oh god, good thing I didn't eat. But no, the special effects are done very well. Overall, the acting's pretty good in my opinion, and yeah, everyone played their character pretty well. The only thing I would have wished is that they had more scenes of what or more background of what these aliens actually like are, rather than we just see the one alien. But maybe it's just that one alien. Well, like, what do these eggs? I guess these eggs just explode. Like nothing comes out of them. There's no life. It's kind of weird. But so that's Alien Contamination. Definitely check it out if you're into like bizarre Italian movies. Then check out Alien Contamination. But yeah, it was fun to watch. As far as the Arrow video release goes, we'll just go through this quickly. This is the original artwork here, which is really nice. We get quite a lot of special features. This is a new 2K restoration. We get like original Italian and English soundtracks, optional English subtitles, brand new audio commentary by filmmaker, Fangoria editor, and Contamination superfan Chris Alexander, notes on science fiction cinema, archive documentary, interview with the person who did the music, Sound of the Cyclops, on music of an Alien Contamination, Luigi Cosi versus Lewis Coates, a brand new interview with the director. There's a Q&A sit down which I watched, which was really interesting, with the director and Ian McCulloch, so that was cool to check out. So definitely a lot of special features on there to keep you busy. This is a UK release, but it's region free, so if you pick up this Blu-ray, the UK version, it's gonna play on any player, which is really nice. Single disc Blu-ray, and that's kind of that's supposed to be the alien Cyclops' eye, which is really cool. So that's kind of what it looked like, and you can also use the newly commissioned artwork, which is pretty cool. That's kind of a better representation of what the egg looks like, but that one has the Cyclops eye, so pretty cool. But yeah, it was definitely a fun film to check out. I don't think that it was as good as I was anticipating, but for what it is, it's definitely not a bad movie. Very entertaining. So that's Alien Contamination. If you've seen this film, let me know what you think. And I guess that is all there is to say. Hopefully I didn't scramble up this review too much, but thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.